Hey, DVC fan, and welcome to a special live edition of the DVC show. Paul and Amy tonight coming to you from a disheveled looking backdrop.
It doesn't I really thought you would have most of that gone. So, happy Monday.
Where do you think it would be?
I don't know, put away like all of our other walls.
I decided to leave at least a couple things up on the wall. I felt like I had to leave the picture up, but this will be the last week that you see anything that resembles
That's not true.
this.
We pre-recorded next week's show, right?
No.
Oh, we don't?
No, we have no
Oh,
show for
I
next week.
lied.
Actually,
Okay.
programming note, there is no show next week because
And
Paul and Amy are moving and everything is in boxes. It feels like there's about 95% of our life is in boxes at the moment. And we are well on our way to be moving on Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, so it should be exciting. But we thought we'd join you all tonight because there has been a lot of Disney Vacation Club news that has been going on recently. And so we're going to unpack some of it, chat with you all. If you guys have questions, if you have comments, put them in the comments of this video. Before we get started, please hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel. It does the world for us. And then also show some love for our sponsors over at the World of DVC. DVC Resale Market, if you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract, it's the perfect gift to put underneath the Christmas tree. I did it for Amy how many years ago now? It's been
A
a little
long
while.
time ago.
I bought a 50-point Grand Floridian contract and put it underneath the Christmas tree. It was quite hard, but if you want it to get through Rofer before Christmas, you're probably already past that. But
Yeah.
but you can at least
Close.
it's the thought that
You're
matters.
past that.
So I was told to tell you all that Derek DeBoer over at DVC Resale Market, he is working the chat tonight at dvcresalemarket.com. So head over there and blow up the chat and tell Derek hi because he's working hard and selling those used timeshare contracts.
As he calls them.
If you want to finance that contract, you can head over to monerafinancial.com. They can help you and assist you in that process. And if you're new to the club or thinking about DVC for the first time, or you've been going to Disney and kind of looking for a way to save some money, DVC Rental Store can save you up to 75% on your Disney vacation. Also, if you're a member and you have some extra points laying around, you can go ahead and rent those points out for cash. One of the big things we'll be talking about tonight, annual due season is upon us. So you're going to want to rent your points ahead of that. And then last but not least, I know someone did put it in the comments here, but definitely if you are not a Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/DVC fan, we are putting all kinds of fun things.
That's so funny. This is the Thanksgiving t-shirts are the best. I only put those on Patreon
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure Paul's shirt was a little too small on him.
We ordered these shirts
No, Paul ordered
yes,
these shirts.
I'm the planner for matching shirts, matching couple shirts. We ordered the shirts like 2 years ago, and yeah, it was smaller than I anticipated. So Patreon, I hope you enjoyed that. Patreon.com/DVC fan. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. I mean, you get that great, amazing content that my wife decides to put out there of me. So anyhow, I don't know where to go from there. You go.
Okay, well, let's talk about I guess the most recent news that we've had, which is something we were anticipating. The construction came back and we saw permits being filed of what was formerly the resort formerly known as Reflections. But we now know that they are planning to add what is now going to be called Disney's Lakeshore Lodge over on the grounds of where Fort Wilderness is. But here's what I will say. So originally it was called Reflections.
We don't.
Did I already mess the name up?
No, you've said Lakeshore a bunch of times, but
Yeah.
this is the thing over on Disboards. A lot of people are talking about it. Lakeshore, it is so hard to remember that you have to think about it when you say Disney Lakeshore Lodge. And I just wish
it's kind of like Lakeshore. It's I don't want to say it's a tongue twister, but it's just it doesn't roll off the tongue like Lakeside.
Let's just say Amy said it best.
I think the name needs to go. Sorry, Panda. It got too much like made
Yeah.
fun of,
Yep.
and it's too wordy, right? So we've got Grand Flirting Resort, Riviera Resort, Reflections, a lakeside lodge, like
Yeah.
just Disney's Lakeside Lodge. Bam.
There you go, Disney. Disney's Lakeside Lodge. It's as simple as that.
DLL. I think they changed it just to spite me. And so when I recorded, we do some of that short form content with the news where I'll do the audio and then I send it over to Paul and he does all the video behind it on YouTube. That they're shorts and they're on Instagram. And he had to like edit me in saying it correctly instead of me recording the whole thing because I said it. I kept saying Lakeside.
Well, and I wish you guys could see it when Amy records these short form videos. So she goes in her office and she shuts the door.
Close the door.
And let's just say there are explicit words that are said occasionally when she messes up because she's trying to say it all in 60 seconds or 90 seconds. Thank you, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, it was 60. Now I get 90.
Giving us some more time. But I get through editing the entire thing and I put the captions on top and it comes back and it says Lakeside. And I'm like, she didn't say Lakeside, did she? And yep, she's at Lakeside. And so I was like, hey, I just need you to say this one line one more time. So Lakeside just rolls off the tongue.
I'm gonna mess it up. Yeah, 300 times.
We apologize in advance, but Disney Lakeshore Lodge is coming in 2027, and it is, as Amy kind of said, the artist formerly known as Reflections. Disney's actual release for this basically said that projected to open in 2027, this proposed new Disney Vacation Club property will be located alongside the shores, Lakeshore, I guess. They're doubling down there. Along the shores of Bay Lake at Walt Disney World Resort. The resort will be inspired by the majesty of nature and its enduring influence on Disney artists. The proposed Disney Lakeshore Lodge will be located within the same footprint of the previously announced Reflections, a Disney Lakeside Lodge resort. And so it is essentially Reflections. There's no denying that, even from them talking about how it will invoke that nature element to it. I don't think there's any denying that they are kind of recycling the Reflections.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of elements brought in from Reflections, and we are getting a lot of questions. We have someone that asked, I haven't seen the threads on Disboards. Are there any resale restrictions like Riviera is a part of the Fort Wilderness Cabins Association? The only thing we really got was pretty much what Paul just read. We basically have a name and we know a location, which was kind of obvious already. And we know that it's going to be kind of nature theme. So what we can take back is, we can look back on some of the plans from previous and see what was in store. We know it's not going to be exact, but I think that footprint wise, size wise, a lot of that is going to be very similar to what was in store for Reflections. But as of like the association details, if they're going to tie it into the cabins, we don't know that yet. We can only speculate on that.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit just kind of about the previous specifics that we did know related to Reflections. So as Amy said, just that blurb that I read to you, that is all that was in the press release. You can actually see it right here. Disney actually, DVC put out a press release with all of the things that were coming up in their properties. And this paragraph, that is all that they said related to this project. So no other information.
It's only 3 sentences.
Yeah, more coming soon. I hope more is coming in a week's time for the condo association meeting. Maybe we get a couple pieces of updated concept art, or at least something.
Can I just say I'm really impressed that they use the word Reflections again?
Yeah, they at least acknowledged that
at least
it existed.
Yeah, that's not been a thing.
That is not something that Disney ever does. But in terms of like kind of what we knew about Reflections previously, so this was underway back in 2019. It was halted in 2020 due to the pandemic, And then we noticed some permitting activity, some cranes popped up on property. I've said it before. It was Disney's worst kept secret over the past 2 to 3 months that this thing was back underway. So it was good that they finally at least acknowledge that it is coming back. And so this is the first kind of stopping point that I want to discuss. When this was originally proposed in 2019, this was a mixed use property. 900 rooms this property was going to make up. And based off of the language that Disney Vacation Club used in what we called their 3 sentences, they're calling this a proposed new Disney Vacation Club property. So, the first question that many people are asking right now is this going to be fully a 900 room property, or
Yeah,
is it still going to be mixed use?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would guess we're going to go back to the mixed use, because that's huge. And I think that when you look at the inventory that they have, we don't really know, when. Well, we know it's projected to open 2027. Probably by then, Polynesian Tower should be sold out within a couple years, just because it's not huge. Riviera will probably still be selling. Alani will still be selling. Disneyland Hotel, Disneyland Villas, maybe, just because they've got some barriers to sell there. But I don't know. You'll have to look. I feel like Riviera is big and is only like 300 and something rooms. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah. It's a little over 300, I believe. Someone correct us if we're wrong in the comments, but I think it's right around 300. But yeah, so that's
They're gonna want to split,
they're gonna
split the cost between hotel and DVC, because they're 2 different entities, like they do with some of these other resorts. And yeah, that's my guess. I don't know why they would deviate from that now.
Yeah. Tigrette said, mixed use like Boardwalk, but there is a point here that they have discovered that, essentially keeping that other component DVC, because let's be honest, a lot of people are another question that a lot of people are asking related to Reflections. I'm sorry, I'm calling it Reflections forever apparently. Lakeshore Lodge. A lot of people are asking the question, what does this mean for Fort Wilderness Cabins? Because there have been rumors, and we can assume based off of some things that have been put out there that there could be an intent to roll Lakeshore Lodge and the cabins together into basically a single use property under the trust. And we say that, I think, as a community, because we kind of assume that the cabins are failing. And I don't know that that's a fair assessment of the cabins. We're saying the cabins are failing because they're not selling points. But, it could be very possible that essentially the purpose of it is to rent those rooms via cash.
Right.
And they don't care how long it takes for it to sell out.
And have some owners who take over responsibility of some of the maintenance fees.
Yeah, exactly. So
I do have to pop in, interrupt you and say that Derek texted and said, best audience ever. So many fun, cool people popped over into the chat to say hi, into his DVC resale chat. Yep. So that's funny.
Thank you all for saying hi to Derek. But yeah, I think it remains to be seen as to what that means for this new property. I think we're going to kind of make assumptions. Tigret also, I clicked on the wrong one there. Also said, yes, there were trust documents that outlined basically that location where Reflections or Lakeshore Lodge now is going to be as part of that trust property. So I think that until we get more definition from Disney Vacation Club in terms of what they're saying about this property, we're not going to necessarily know that. I think maybe that's a great question. If any of you out there are owners to the cabins at Fort Wilderness and will be attending the condo association meeting next week. So these are individual condo association meetings this year.
And if you go, you're probably going to be the only one there.
Yeah.
So you have the whole time to ask questions.
Yeah. And you'll see me lingering around on Wednesday. So Wednesday is the bulk of these meetings, I believe it is. And I plan to attend most of the condos that we own, but I won't be able to attend the Fort Wilderness since we don't own it. Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, you'll have to own there to sign up.
I would would love for someone to ask that question at that meeting, because I think it is pertinent to owners, and it would be interesting to see kind of if they gave any response to that, because they're not gonna answer it if I ask in my Polynesian condo association meeting. So, but it remains to be seen as to what they do there, but it could be interesting and kind of further that trust concept. It would bring down the annual dues of the resort. So there's a lot of merit to doing that.
Mhm.
I think if they do it with 900 rooms, though, this property's just gonna sell for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's gotta partly be hotel,
Yeah.
and then
So
maybe, like, roll in the cabins, as the pet-friendly option, and it even looked like in some of the past, artwork that there were gonna be cabin-like buildings associated with, oh gosh, I was gonna call it Reflections too, Lake
What's funny
Shore.
what's funny is I have
You
all of
wanna call it
these
Lakeside.
images, and I have to figure out
Yeah,
which
there you
one Amy
go.
is talking about to make sure I click
Okay,
on the
those
right
are
one.
kinda like tree houses meets it's like Saratoga Treehouse meets Copper Creek Cabin.
I think it meets the concept of
It
the
actually kinda
Fort
looks like Fort
Wilderness.
Wilderness, yeah, it
Yeah,
kinda has that shipping
and it
container
has kind of
vibe.
that slanted roof that
Yeah,
the Fort
okay,
Wilderness should
so
have.
Treehouse meets Fort Wilderness Cabin.
Again, for the audio listeners out there, make sure you head over to YouTube to see some of these images that we are showing. This is older concept art. So, again, what has changed? We don't know. I love that a couple people in the comments are also saying, man, some of this really looks like the Polynesian, because we said that when the Polynesian Island Tower was first released. We said, man, that building looks like it stole a
It's
lot of
like the roof
ideas
line that yeah.
from the
Over there, you can
Reflections
see it, like, in the
property.
corner, it looks like Polynesian Tower,
Yeah,
yeah. It
exactly.
does.
Other
Mhm.
previous artwork that we received, there were some concept arts that were put out there, and this is, I mean, for me, this just looks like any of the more
It does.
traditional.
It looks like Disneyland, it looks like
Yeah,
Polynesian just with different
yeah.
wallpaper.
You've got a pull down Murphy bed. You've got what looks to be maybe a single pull down bed. You've got the kitchen area, dining room area. This looks very much almost. If you kind of flipped it and reversed it, it kind of looks very much again like the Disneyland Island
Mhm.
Tower one bedrooms that
Yeah.
they've put out. So I think a lot of this concept art maybe was reused in that capacity. So we don't know how much of this is going to look the same, but we have to imagine, since they're using the same blueprint, that the same general vibe of the resort is going to maintain itself. The other thing a lot of people were excited for when it was initially announced was there is going to be a Lakeshore restaurant, which originally was themed to Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
So, will that theming continue?
Originally, I felt like it didn't fit, and I wished they had put that over at Port Orleans. But I don't know. Now that we've got Tiana's Bayou over at Magic Kingdom, maybe it could work.
Yeah, it'll be.
I would love a good Tiana themed restaurant because that's that like New Orleans type food, and I love Cajun.
Yeah. And then we had some artwork previously of the main lobby that featured a Pocahontas sculpture. There has been some rumblings that maybe they're going to change their mind as to what they do here in this main lobby area. But again, and there was a previous kind of nighttime exterior concept art that was given to us as well. So hopefully in the near future, Disney gives us some updates. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this? What other questions might you have kind of related to this property? While you guys maybe ask some questions, I'm going to go back over here and just make sure we kind of covered everything. So we did talk about how it was a 900 room accommodation that was going to be both DVC and standard hotel room accommodations. We talked about the theming. Previous theming that was announced include Bambi, Brother Bear, the Fox and the Hound, Pocahontas, all of those things kind
See,
of
I would
evoking the
those are
nature
very
elements.
under
Brother Bear gets me.
oh my gosh. Yeah, don't even get me started on that. We've got when our dog passed from cancer, we someone gave us a it was this cool like wooden thing with his picture on it and a quote from the song from the Brother Bear song. So, but those are all very under loved movies in on property. You don't see a lot of references to any of them, really. So I would love to see them showcased at this
Yeah.
resort, especially Pocahontas, especially Brother Bear. Yeah, Fox and the Hound. Really, all of those that were mentioned. I'm
Yeah.
not a big Bambi person, just because I feel like I've it's kind of sad. Well, they're all sad, but
Adam said, I'm guessing resale will not have access to this resort. My guess would be that is correct. So whatever direction this goes in, I assume it's either going to go in the new direction of being a new property, in which you do need to be a direct owner or be grandfathered in to be able to utilize that resort at the 0 to 7 month window. And or it's going to roll into the trust product. If it rolls into the trust product, you know, the Fort Wilderness cabins are again treated like a new property, but it
Mhm.
also kind of just changes the game a little bit because will it be Fort Wilderness or will it be something different? It sounds like it
Right.
would be the Palmetto Trust, so they would utilize the same thing. That's where this gets a little messy, is kind of what they do in that regard. So keep that in mind as we move forward. We're going to probably not have an answer to that question until 2026 at this point. This resort is
Yeah,
not.
but I am interested to see if we get any new information. Probably, first of all, we're probably not going to get information on an association on how they're if they're going to roll it into a trust for a very long time. Look at the Polynesian. We had to make educated guesses for a long time, and then just follow the everything that was filed. But I think we'll get some information on what to expect the resort to look like, what the restaurant's going to be, all those things at the condo association, maybe, which is in a few weeks. Next week?
Next week, not a few weeks.
Next
We've
week?
lost full track of time here, and our December is just going to disappear over the course of the next 3 weeks between moving, condo association, the
Poly
Polynesian.
Tower. Yeah.
The Poly Tower looks like it is ready to go. I've seen some kind of updated pictures that some people have been
Mhm.
posting over in the DVC fan Facebook group, and I'm actually shocked at how far along it looks. Like they seem ready, which is something weird to
I think
say.
when we walked over the other day
Hmm.
and looked over, wasn't there water in one of the
There was
pools? There was water in the
there's
pool.
only one pool.
There
Yeah.
was one pool. There was water in it.
There was
It was
water in the pool. They were
Yeah.
working on the restaurant area. I've seen that there's been some landscaping that's gone in already. I mean, this thing's pretty ready to go.
Mhm.
So that's pretty amazing. Someone did ask early on, Brian asked, do any other DVC resorts compare to potentially a 900 room resort? The only thing that can come to mind for me is Saratoga in terms of size. That's, probably the next largest Disney Vacation Club property we've
Mhm.
seen. So, and, that says a lot. Most owners are Saratoga owners. Most contracts that we see
Yeah, I
sell
mean,
on the
it's the
resale
bulk
market,
of the
that is the
points.
bulk of where there are a lot of Disney Vacation Club
Mhm.
points. So maybe their goal here is to just create another point monster like Saratoga and just sell it for the next 10 years. I don't know.
If that happened, though, it would be easy to get a room. It'd be like Saratoga. There
Yeah.
would always be rooms because the inventory was so high.
Yeah.
I don't know if they wanna do that, though. I think you wanna create a little bit of
Exclusivity.
exclusivity. Yeah, the feeling of, if I don't buy direct, well, because the restrictions, that's gonna restrict people anyway. But if I don't buy at this resort, maybe I won't get in, special times of the year. Who knows?
I wanted to give a shout out, just to go back to our previous discussion. I did want to give a shout out to Jenny Penny over on Disboards, who said, I find it amusing how many people are referring to it as Lakeside Lodge. If they'd changed the name to River Country Lodge, we'd all be saying it correctly, but they managed to tweak it just enough that we're all saying the wrong name. I'm starting to feel bad for whoever is in charge of the cabins and new lodge. They can't win for losing. And I
Well,
think
I mean,
that's a
that
pretty.
was the name, though. It was Reflections, a lakeside lodge. So, like, you call it one thing, and then you call it the other, and then that gets and then you call it something that's literally almost just a couple letters off.
Yeah.
It gets confusing.
So there you go. That is the Disney Lakeshore Lodge coming in 2027. At least we'll have something to do in 2027.
That's true.
So
That's true.
we've got a date
Yeah.
already for the Lakeshore. I'm just gonna say it over and over, and
Moving
maybe
on.
maybe it'll It will.
Someone asked what we were drinking. I think Paul's drinking coffee, right?
I am. I'm drinking
This
some
is
decaf coffee at the
this is our
moment.
Jumbo House mug. It's one of like 3 mugs that are left that aren't in boxes, and Paul's got a Yoshi
This is my
mug.
Yoshi mug.
I'm just
I
drinking
tell people
decaf tea.
I'm having a good day if I'm drinking out of my Yoshi mug. So, but in this case, it's one of 2 mugs that are not
Yeah.
packed. So, yeah, there you go. One thing I didn't mention at the top of the show that I did want to bring up is I wanted to thank all of you who participated in our Give Back November campaign and donated to Give Kids the World. That campaign is still open. So if you are interested in donating, you can still do so. Head to Give Kids the World, look up Give Back November, and then click on the DVC fan section of that. But to date, $2,675 raised for Give Kids the World just through our DVC fan community. So just a huge shout out
Yeah,
and a
that's
thank you
great.
to everyone.
Mhm.
Amy and I got to attend the gala this year again, and just an amazing event.
Mhm.
Some amazing stories that just really touch you out of that event, and it was a wonderful experience for a wonderful cause. So thank you to all of you that did donate to that, and we will put in the description of this video and this podcast that link. So if you still are interested in donating, you can still do so. So thank you to everyone for that. Next big piece of news that came out that we kind of was delayed this year by about a week or so. I felt like for the better part of a week, I just kept pressing refresh on my computer, was 2025 Disney Vacation Club annual dues. And we do have a rundown over on the DVC fan website of all of the annual dues. And a couple of surprises this year. And I think the surprises were really the ones that went down.
Down, which is the first time since we've owned that we've ever seen annual dues go down, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
So we've got the Polynesian, which went from $8, I hate the 4 decimals. Why?
It's like when you're
It's
buying
like buying
gas.
gas.
Yeah.
How much do you really pay?
Um,
Anyway, because you can't pay a point 0.0001 of a cent. So like, okay, anyway.
they'll round up and they'll get your
Yeah, so
money.
it went from, well, I'm just gonna round $8.23 a point down to $7.93. Do you round up on that one? $7.93 a point. So that went down 3.69%. And then we also had the Cabins of Fort Wilderness, which I was surprised and very glad to see. Originally seeing that $12 over $12 a point was definitely a shocker when that first came out. It went down by 2.28% from $12 and we'll say 16 cents a point to 11.87. And honestly, now that we know kind of that they're willing to go down, maybe that does make the whole rolling in the Lakeshore Lodge into with the cabins to bring that dues down to a little more in line with everything else at Disney World. Maybe makes that more possible.
Yep. Yeah, those were some surprising numbers, as well as these eye-popping numbers that some of these resorts are starting to see. Poor Vero Beach Resort. Love you, Derek, and I know you're headed there soon. $14.30.
Yeah, well, Derek doesn't technically own at
No,
Vero. He owns
but
at Boardwalk.
he loves
So
it so much that
he
it
does.
just makes me think of
But
him.
he's not paying the dues.
That is true. We did put together a nice little commentary over on the DVC resale market website that kind of outlines just kind of what kind of the eye-popping numbers were this year. So notable increases. The highest increase this year was actually Old Key West, which jumped 6.47% up to $10.50 per point. I said Old Key West wrong. Sorry, Old Key Jeff. So Jeff,
Yeah,
have
right.
fun
Get your
paying.
dues in line, Jeff.
Get your dues in line, Jeff.
I will say that last year we had ones that made increases as high as into like the 7%
Mhm.
increases, and nothing was as high as 7%.
Well,
So
and these increases are one thing to consider, but also consider that there was an update to the tax assessments
mhm.
for most resorts that affected 2024 annual dues. So there are going to be a lot of owners that have basically an amount of money that they owe for 2024 that also gets rolled into your 2025 dues.
That's true.
So wait until you get that bill for that specific
Mhm.
number that you owe, because I think that that
Yeah.
adjustment is going to
So
apply to a
most
lot of people.
years it ends up being a credit
Yeah.
for a lot of us, and this year, if for a majority of resorts, it's going to be a charge. It's not going to be anything earth shattering, but if you're trying to do the math on your annual dues and you're saying, okay, and this many boardwalk points and this many Animal Kingdom points, just know that there might be some addition onto that for those assessed tax changes from 2024.
Yep. Our beloved first home resort, Animal Kingdom, was the second highest increase
I
this year,
know.
6.22%.
But we are getting refurbishment.
We are, hopefully.
So,
Yeah, we need one, that's for sure.
very, very
We just
much.
stayed there for the Wine and Dine Half Marathon weekend in a
Yeah,
two-bedroom, and let's just say it needed some love.
it did.
In multiple different ways. And I think the first thing they need to do is get rid of those jet jacuzzi tubs in every single room.
Oh my goodness. Those collect so much dirt as
yeah.
soon as you turn the jets on.
They're a great idea,
Regretful.
but it just doesn't
Right.
doesn't work out. As we mentioned earlier, Polynesian, the Fort Wilderness cabins, both pleasant surprises. Polynesian wasn't really surprising, just from the standpoint that they're adding all of these new rooms into the association, so you're kind of diversifying the number of owners that are going to pay those dues. The only bad thing that this kind of, in my eyes, as a Polynesian owner, which most people have talked about, is it means that there's probably not huge adjustments that are being made to potentially the transportation budget
To the infrastructure.
or infrastructure. Yeah,
I'm gonna say that word.
that is needed
Yeah.
to accommodate this larger number of guests. We know that there's some ongoing work there, and they're building a bus loop. But the main question that we have is, how is the monorail going to be treated moving forward? That's just going to be a major issue, and so it's really, I don't know. It's a win lose. It'll be interesting once that property
Yeah.
opens. Mark mentioned in the
Yeah,
comments, what
I
exactly
wanted
did the
to
dues pay for?
yeah, so it's interesting, and it's gonna depend on your resort. And one thing that I can tell you is that when they send those statements out, which most of us got them in the mail, they're also in your account. And if you go to the DVC fan article and you click on the resorts individually, you will also go to those statements. And on those statements, it actually gives you basically line items where it breaks down and it shows you what your dues are going to. So a majority of them are going to be transportation costs. That's the really big one at Old Key West. We're talking the buses, the drivers, the gas, the maintenance. At resorts like Riviera, you're sharing portions of the Skyliner maintenance. At Grand Floridian and Polynesian, it's the monorail. It might be the boats. You share portions of the transportation based on that resort's usage. Other really, really large line items are going to be housekeeping. So that's, the turnover of the rooms, the collecting of the trash, that sort of thing. There's definitely some other things like taxes, security, things like that. But there is a line item on Animal Kingdom Lodge. I don't know which one you're on, for animal care. So we do cover, a portion of feeding the giraffes.
$3.6 million.
Yeah. So yeah, animal program. So there you go. So you can kind of see that breakdown and exactly how much of the annual dues goes to
Yeah.
each of these things. And it's going to be different for each resort. Animal care obviously isn't over at Saratoga. You're not taking care of the wild turkeys or anything. But just depending on the resort, you can find those. So dvcfan.com, go to the annual dues article, click on each resort, and you can check those out.
Yep. I don't know where my mouse is. I lost my mouse.
But thank you, Mark. I'm actually really glad he asked that, because a lot of people wonder that
and-
and aren't sure.
And here's something also that a lot of people need to consider with their annual dues, is that you are helping a lot of these cast members earn a livable wage with your annual dues.
That is true. Yeah.
You can argue one way or another whether or not you feel that should be passed on to us, but these people are incredibly hardworking people, and I think that it is absolutely amazing that they did get an increase. I think they deserve more of an increase, and so a large component of those dues do kind of offset that. So just thank a cast member the next time you're on property, because they really do love our resorts and they take good care of them. And
Mhm.
so they deserve every penny that they make,
Yep.
and more. Cameron sent in a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Cameron. Friendly Seven Seas Lagoon boat captain told me that they will start using the
Oh,
120 person boats for transportation at the Polynesian Grand Floridian. The little boats only hold 38. That's a huge upgrade.
that is huge.
So
Yeah.
that would definitely help with some of the transportation
Mhm.
needs that resort will have. Those people, though, that are in the island tower, they're going to have a little bit of a walk over to kind of get to that transportation, whatever direction you
To
go.
the boat
Yeah.
or to the yeah, or if you wanna walk to the TTC
Mhm.
to go directly, on the Epcot monorail, it's a little bit of a walk. Yeah.
Yep. So thanks so much, Cameron, for the super chat, and for that. So Mike also asked, any talk of renovation for Animal Kingdom Lodge next year? We know
Yeah,
it's on the agenda for 2025.
it's
Much
coming.
needed refurbishment. The furniture just needs to go. It's old and clunky, and the rooms just need some love. I do hope that they don't take away too much of the character, just the feel.
I wanted to have that, obviously, like, the African lodge vibe, but and people might disagree with me, it's very dark. I would like to see it lightened up a little bit. Not, like, crazy, can't recognize it anymore, but just a little.
To round out the annual dues topic before we end it, is that January 15th is the due date for annual dues. Next week at the condo association meetings, that is when all of these proposed budgets will be ratified. Then the week after that is when all of your bills will be loaded into your Disney Vacation Club account. So you will see all of those final amounts that you owe. And then those amounts are due by January 15th. When we say due by January 15th, that means that you either have to have your auto pays all scheduled and ready to go, or you must have paid those in full. We always recommend buying some discounted Disney gift cards.
Mhm.
'Tis the season for some great deals on
Right.
some Disney gift cards. And so buy up those Disney gift cards and then pay for your annual dues with those cards and save, 5-10%. If you really hustle, you can probably save more on those.
Right, yeah, and if you're looking for where to get Disney gift cards, wholesale places like or not, I guess it's bulk, I don't know what you call those stores,
Mhm.
like, they're wholesale,
Yep.
right? Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's, also Target, if you have a Target Red card, it's always 5% off of gift cards, and that's all year round, so, that's also always an option. Sometimes, who was it that had that's really hard to get sometimes? Is it Best Buy? Who had the Disney gift cards? I can never remember. Where did you just bought some. Where did you buy
I
them from?
did?
Maybe I lied.
No.
All
I
right.
think last year I bought some Best Buy ones. I
What
think they
are
had
the
a special
ones that,
incentive.
like, go really fast and they're usually a
Those are
pretty good
Sam.
deal? Is
Those
it
used to
Sam's?
be.
Okay,
It
what
used to be
Sam's?
Sam's Club. It used to be, if you didn't get the Sam's Club ones immediately, then they were sold
Okay.
out. Now
They're
Sam's
better.
is just like, we've gone to digital cards. We don't care how many we sell. So they just kind of
Okay.
let that open ended. But
Really, the wholesale places are one of usually the best option in Target.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, there you go. That kind of rounds out annual dues. Pay your dues, because if you don't, all your vacations are going to be canceled. Trust me, that's what they do. But they are due.
Not because it's happened to us.
No, no.
It's not.
I've seen it in my line of work too many times. But and Andrea said our Target is offering a 10% gift card sale on November.
Oh,
Oh, well, that November 7th or 8th, or December 7th and 8th.
I
Hopefully
think she
December.
means
I really hope
December.
December. Yes. So yeah, that would be that would be great. Jesse asked, if I purchase a contract through, I assume DVC resale is what you mean here, would I be allowed to book at any DVC resort or only the resort I purchase at? Jesse, that is a great question. It really depends on the resort you're purchasing. If you are purchasing one of the newer resorts like Riviera or Disneyland Hotel or the cabins at Fort Wilderness via resale, those are going to only be able to be used at those specific
At
resorts,
their home
at their
resort.
home
Yeah.
resorts. Any others, there are specific resale restrictions that are going to explicitly not allow you to use them at those newer properties, but allow you to use them at kind of the original 11, I think we call it. So some of the older Disney Vacation Club properties. So depending on what you are interested in purchasing, talk to one of the resale agents over there and just make sure you fully understand the resale restrictions involved with all of that. Louis Edwards with us, $10 super chat. Love what you all continue to do. Keep up the great work. Maybe a little off topic, but when do you think Disney will start the registration for the April 30th Moonlight Magic at Epcot? So normally we see Moonlight Magic registrations happen about a month or so out from the actual date of the event. So I don't think April 30th. I'm thinking probably mid to late March is when we might see that
Yeah,
registration.
I wouldn't expect it any earlier than February.
Yeah. When I forget when the first event is this year for Epcot, but I
I
think they
know.
pushed them later into the year.
Mhm.
So sometimes they open both events up at once. Sometimes they don't. It's really kind of a
It's
guessing game.
it has been, yeah, kind of a crapshoot,
Yeah.
different things at different
Yeah,
times they've
but
done.
you will know when we know for sure because we will post it all over the place and make
Yeah.
sure that everyone knows when where to register or get in that queue for Moonlight Magic. We always recommend open multiple browsers, multiple devices, have as many open as possible, and hopefully, as long as you have a stay there, typically that is kind of the safety net. As long as you have a
Mhm.
stay, you're definitely going to get in. This is one where I was surprised that moving into kind of the next topic that we're going to talk about, a surprise thing that I was I've lost my train of thought. I'm done.
I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, the hamster jumped off the wheel in my brain. I'm surprised they didn't roll this into Membership Magic Beyond somehow.
Oh, I'm glad. I think that people would have been storming the castle
That is
if they
true.
did. You know what I mean? Like if you truly took that away. And then you're also, if you do that, you're also taking away, buy direct. That's one of their big, you're
Yeah,
eligible for Moonlight Magic. Buy direct with us. And you know what I mean? So I didn't see them taking away Moonlight Magic and rolling it into a
yeah.
paid perk. I don't see them doing that.
So I kicked off tonight's show with a question that I asked all of you, which was, will you be signing up for Membership Magic Beyond tomorrow? Because Membership Magic Beyond does go on
It
sale tomorrow,
does.
December 3rd. It is $100 for the year and gets you a variety of benefits. 25% of you said yes, and 75% said no. And I can tell you just by that number, I am sure if 25% of members subscribe to that program, that DVC will deem it a pretty good success.
Yeah, and honestly, now we looked at the numbers. It does not benefit us in any way. We are probably going to do it so that we can report on it. But, if we weren't, I don't know that I would. But it can work for a lot of people depending on if you buy one-time use points, depending on your ticket situation. There are some things that would benefit people. From looking at the post that Disney Vacation Club posted on Facebook today, and you had pointed it
I
out,
did, yeah.
there was some angry people, but it was not what you would think. They had posted about it. They basically were saying it's coming on tomorrow. Who's buying? And the majority of comments were negative towards we can't buy because we're international.
Yeah.
And so people want to buy this, but they can't because they're international. And I understand that there's international laws and things that make it hard, but I feel like they could find a way, maybe, but I don't know.
A question, if is anyone international actually in the chat tonight or listening to the show, um, I wonder what drives that decision internationally. I wonder if is it the ticket element? Like what aspect of it
Right.
is?
Could you just remove that aspect or change it out for something else? I don't know.
Yeah, there
Um,
has to be something that is restricting them from doing
I
that.
will
But
tell you the one thing that I learned recently that I don't know if it was known earlier that kind of makes me want to have it is the membership lounge at Epcot being open until 9 p.m.
yep.
for Beyond members.
Yeah, so Nick Anderson, quick shout out. I was chatting with him on Facebook a little bit before this show, but he sent over the screenshot that I just so conveniently had handy that I decided to make it a slide for tonight. But
Thank you, Nick.
yeah, thank you, Nick. But yeah, this is a huge benefit. So currently, the lounge is only open until 5 or 6 p.m. most nights at Epcot, which is something that members have historically complained about for so many years. But as a membership Magic Beyond member, you're going to have access from 6 to 9 p.m.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
pretty
still
cool.
close.
Yeah, I would like to try to stay up there until 9
Never
p.m.
been
and
open that late. Yeah.
just
Now,
kind of
do they
enjoy being
kick
up
you
there.
out after like when the fireworks start?
Probably.
I mean, you can't really see them, so.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to see, I think, like from that area. But yeah, this is like this is like a hidden sleeper benefit that I'm glad you brought up because I made a slide for it. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
quick shout out to Robert Ratz for the super chat. Thank you guys. You guys always have great information for us. You're the best DVC YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
Yeah.
love and support. Love what we do. Love sharing all of this with you all.
And love just getting to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
It's just been really exhausted, and in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do this live show. But then once we start and we get to talk to you guys, it feels different,
It's better than just talking to me and the dogs all day.
Like, yeah, I'm stuck with him all day long. So it's so nice to talk to you guys.
We were in a meeting or something earlier today, and Amy just got a new computer and she changed her Slack tone on the computer. And I'm like, what is that dinging coming from your office?
I changed it back, by the way.
Oh, good.
It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, thank you so much, Robert, for that. So we put together a little bit of an article over on dvcfan.com, kind of breaking down the value of membership Magic Beyond. And I think it's this is what we've said before about this program is I don't want to knock Disney fully for it, which is that they were very thoughtful in trying to find a benefit that maybe each different type of vacationer or family was looking for. So they really wanted to, maybe you're looking for tickets. Great. This is perfect for you for this. Maybe you're looking for one-time use points. Great. This is perfect for you for this. So I do give them credit for that because I think they are going to see a higher success rate just because they asked, how do we capture all of these demographics?
It is a variety, yeah.
So we broke down, we got some more information recently just kind of about what that program is actually going to offer. So when you look at, let's talk about annual passes because that was the one that most people thought was very eye-catching at first glance was the ability to use your DVC points to pay for your annual pass. So they came out with the numbers for this. A new Disney Sorcerer Pass purchase will be 75 points. A renewal will be 65 points. So let's put some dollars behind those numbers. And this actually surprised me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So for a new, and again, I am lowballing this. I know some of you came for me in the comments saying, I can get $20 for my points, or if you factor in annual dues, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm just trying to give us a baseline to go off of. So I lowballed it. I said, let's just give a intangible estimate of $16 per point, which is kind of the average rental rate across all properties. So if we take that average, a new Sorcerer Pass, $16 per point times 75, $1,200. A renewal, $1,040. You compare that to the actual cash price, which we have to include tax after this, $1,079 for the new one. So this is not kind of the cash grab that you think it might be.
It's not as bad as I expected it to be, but if you think about it, it's got to be designed for people who have a lot of points because you got two people you buy a new Sorcerer's Pass for. That's 150 points. That's more than that's a whole contract.
Yeah.
A good size contract.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
for the year.
I don't know how many people would actually take advantage of this, but it is a nice benefit if that's kind of what you want. There is a large contingency of members that are locals. So maybe for those people, this is an appealing benefit where they're like, well, I'm not using my points for stays as much, but maybe I can use my points for this and not sell my membership because I do want to hold on to the membership moving forward. So I will say this was not as much of a cash grab. It's definitely not something I'm going to take advantage of.
No, yeah.
But
The other thing is we don't know for certain, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I looked through the terms and conditions. We don't know for certain if these have to be direct only points. Like they require for things like the Disney collection,
yeah,
or cruise line. So even if you
I
qualify to buy the membership beyond and they require you to use all direct points, which they might not
yeah.
for the annual pass, that would like we don't even have that many direct points. You know
No,
what I mean?
no.
So yeah, it just depends.
Well, and I imagine that will be true, that you will have to use direct points, since you do have to be
Mhm.
a direct member to qualify to sign up for Membership Magic Beyond. So it's
Yeah, I read through the terms and conditions and it didn't specify.
they'll fix
So
that in the next 10 minutes. Don't you worry about that. The other big thing that was originally announced with this is a discounted ticket option, which is essentially we looked at the Disney World one. There is a Disneyland one as well, but these are discounted tickets, weekday tickets that will be offered through the Membership Magic Beyond. And this is the fun one when I actually dug into the numbers a little bit. And I just want to emphasize right here on this picture right here where it says save up to 10%. Always when they say up to, always realize that, it's not always going to be 10%, because if you do save 10%, then maybe this is worthwhile. But in the example case that I kind of put together, it definitely proved that we were not at 10%. It was more like 4% for the dates that I chose, which I think was around September 1st, in 2025. So I picked that date, and the cost for this was $610 for adults, $590 for children. Regular cash prices those days are $637, $618. Newsflash, in case you didn't know, DVC Rental Store sells tickets. And for those same dates, it was $608 for adults and $590 for children. So children price the same, adult price a little bit less, and you didn't pay the $100. So this is the one where there might be a couple days in there that's up to 10%.
yeah, and it's a huge chart, so you've got to look at it and study it to see if it even helps you out on the tickets.
Yep. 10 whole pages. I think I linked.
It was so
I think I
long.
linked to it here.
Yeah,
But
like
here you
just
go.
look at
Just
this.
start scrolling,
And it's
and
like, what type of
yeah,
ticket
your
with the water
brain,
park? And
your
why would
brain
you
starts to get
at I
fried.
guess maybe they all have the water park.
Yeah, most of them has the 1-day water park visit, but is that a
Y
benefit
you
now?
get
Because in
that.
2025, if you're staying at a Disney Vacation Club
Yeah.
property, you get water park access first
Well,
day of
you
your
might
on
not want it
check-in day.
first day.
You want to be soggy in the lobby, you sure do. But yeah, I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot to look through to decide what my ticket benefit is. So, my words of advice here would just be, if we could simplify this in the future, I think you would see a higher take rate. But I
Right.
also understand, based off of variable date tickets and all of that, that maybe this is something outside of their control. They are working with,
A separate
a separate entity,
entities.
which is
Yeah.
ticketing. Mr. Post said, "Is there a Disneyland ticket list too?" You better believe it.
It's
There's
just
there's
it's
another 10
it's just
pages.
as long.
So enjoy reading. But the other things that were other couple surprising aspects of this character meet and greet experience. So we knew this was coming to the Epcot member lounge. So there was going to be an exclusive character meet and greet. We don't know who the character is, or what the character
Or
is, or when the
when.
character is. Maybe it's in that special
Yeah.
6 to 9
This is
period.
one
I
of the
have no idea.
ones that once we dug into the terms and conditions, it was like,
One
"Wah,
time,
wah."
one time per year, are
One
you able to do
time.
this?
Yeah.
Which I,
And then so, like, is it only offered on certain dates? What if it does what if it's not available
and
on your
it's
dates?
this simple for me as as partially a salesman at heart. My head goes to, my goal here would be getting people into the member lounge so that I could have guides and other Disney Vacation Club cast members working the room like they do now, asking you if you've heard about the new properties or heard about the new
Mhm.
incentives. Do you want to take a tour of the new Polynesian rooms and stuff like that? The more you can get those people in there, the more sales you are going to generate. And so why limit this to one? rotate the characters seasonally. I've said that
Mhm.
about the
Yeah, because when you've got people taking pictures with all these characters,
yeah.
people are gonna have FOMO and wanna be
Yeah,
part of
especially if it's
it.
like an exclusive character that's
Right.
special to that space.
Yeah,
I
once per
mean,
year. Oh, and you have to be staying on property in order to sign up ahead of time for it.
yeah. So there you I don't know what I just did. There we go. We're back. Um uh there's that one. The photo pass, the memory maker benefit. That's another big one. So this is one where it's a limited
It's a 30
option. It's a
day
30-day
yeah,
memory
but it's
maker.
a single day, 30-day window, which is really weird because who's that really gonna benefit?
Just DVC members that have maybe one trip a year.
Right, yeah, one big trip, though, is where you're gonna get the most out of it because, you can use it once and then it expires in 30 days.
Yeah, but I think the question here is if you're an annual pass member already, you have the ability to
Mhm.
just add on a year of that. So that is where, if this is why you're signing up, I don't know why you're not just buying the photo pass benefit and adding that onto your membership. And Pamela Brown, you said this. I've heard from many different people on this as well. The membership Magic Beyond has essentially no benefits when visiting Disneyland.
Yeah.
And they did have a couple that they tried to kind of play up as Disneyland perks, but I think they could do more. I think they could do more than just the tickets. I think they could do more,
Just
exclusive.
just like your name gives higher on the list if there's a wait list in the lounge.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, they could. I 100% agree. They could do more there.
Mhm.
Um, Also, and I still stand behind this. This is the hidden sleeper benefit of this entire program:
Mm.
the one-time use points. Um, Ask yourself if, in some capacity, you are going to use or benefit from 24 more points in the calendar year, and if the answer to that question is yes, this is a no-brainer because essentially by enrolling, you're saving yourself $140 right off the get-go.
Yeah. So someone asked earlier, how many one-time use points can I buy a year? It's still 24, regardless if you are not in the Beyond Plus, you can buy 24 one-time use points per membership per year. If you are in the Beyond, I called it Beyond Plus. It's not. I made that up. It's just membership Beyond, right?
Yep.
Membership Magic Beyond. If you are in the program, then the max you can get is 24, but you're buying 12 to get that 24. So basically for every one that you buy, you get an extra one-time use point for free. So you would buy up to 12 and get 24.
Yep. So I think that is, if we use this in any capacity, it's going to be because we decided that we used all of our points and we could benefit from those. Like that's the one thing that I look at in the entire program, and I'm like, we may use this. Like, there could be a good option for that. If anyone is looking for any of this benefit information, just head over to dvcfan.com. So we did put together this entire article over there that kind of outlines some of the benefits, and it also links over to the Disney Vacation Club website so that you can learn more and purchase this starting tomorrow
Tomorrow.
if you are interested in joining the club within the club. I guess I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah. And then Dan asked, what is the process for purchasing membership Magic? They said you can buy it online or you can call. I'm guessing online is going to be a lot easier. So I would just head to the DVC website tomorrow. I don't think you need to be up early to do this. I'm
It's not
pretty.
going to be something
It's
that
not
sells out.
selling out. They're going to probably sell
gonna
it to anyone that wants it.
Take as much of your money as you would
Right.
like.
So yeah, just head to the website tomorrow and I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll probably be on the top page. Or sign in and it'll probably be there. And if you're having trouble, then give them a call. But you can buy it online.
Kim said in the comments a couple minutes ago, so the only thing resale buyers get is the ability to book DVC resorts with their points, no other benefits from Disney. There is a great article over on the DVC resale market website that actually outlines kind of just the comparison of resale versus direct. But I think that we've said this before and I'll say it again. First off, the resale benefit is saving potentially half of what you're going to pay versus going direct. Now, for saving that much money, yes, Disney has essentially put up these specific restrictions in both how you could use your points and some of the benefits that you receive. Keep in mind that the benefits can go away at any time, but I am an avid believer that most members over the course of their lifetime become, in some way, shape, or form, a hybrid member. So you've got essentially enough points to have that direct contract, and then you save more money with that resale contract. So I think a lot of people do take advantage of that. But if you're one that's like, I don't care about the FOMO, I don't care about, some of these discounts and some of these savings, resale is the way to go because you do save the most. It is the easiest entry into the
Mhm.
club. But, we bought resale and direct at the same time. Essentially, when we first started, it was bought our resale contract. The direct benefit was low enough that um, we bought
50.
50.
It was actually 25 at the
It
time,
was,
but
yeah. We had to.
we were considered new members, so we had to buy 50.
We had to buy 50. But
Mhm.
so I understand that these days that's not as much of a conversation, I think, for most members. It's either one or the other. So it depends on what's more important to you, saving the money or getting some of those benefits up front. So keep those in mind. Amanda asked, can you buy this at any time next year? My understanding is that they are going to cap when you have to purchase by. I want to say it's going to be sometime in January. I'm not 100% on that though.
They haven't said
They've
yet.
not specifically said, but I think in one of the original things, it did sound like they were going to kind of make it like you're either in or you're out, like stressing that urgency of like either sign up now or you're not going to get to sign up until next year. So I could see them doing that. Six Styles asked, how will this be notated on your account? It is going to have an additional acronym. So it's going to be like, it's going to be something of that sort. It's going to be like DVC Y.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be YB.
Yeah. So
I'm almost positive. I almost think that I saw that somewhere.
it was noted in the terms or in the
Yeah.
frequently asked questions on the DVC
Yeah,
site.
it said YB.
So
Yeah, so it's going to be DVC YB. So DVC Y, DVC N for resale, no benefits. DVC Y for direct with benefits. DVC YB for direct with benefits plus beyond. um,
BY.
BY.
Yeah. BY.
Wow.
Beyond BY.
Okay, but Y is the original, so why didn't you just add the B to the end of it?
It's Disney.
Okay, so BY. I was backwards. Brian asked, is this a 1 year calendar year or a rolling year similar to annual passes? It's going to be a calendar year.
Correct.
Everyone's going to be a member. Your membership's going to start and end at the same time.
Yep. It'll all start.
Mhm.
I think it's the first or second week of January, just for this first year as they get things rolling. It'll expire on December 31st. And then in subsequent years, it'll restart on January 1st. And I do agree. Someone mentioned in the comments earlier, if this is successful, expect the price to go up. Expect the price to go up next year.
Yeah, these are really good questions, and I'm really glad I read the terms and conditions. Click on lotto views. Hello guys, do all members need to get the membership, or is one person is good? Just one person, and it's good for your whole family. And I think in some cases, like you're allowed to buy a decent amount of the tickets, but do they have to be in your household?
There is a cap for the number of tickets I think that you can buy, but in terms of the membership itself, you are just buying this membership once.
One time, one person.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. It's Nina Baby. Said we will be at the Boardwalk Association meeting next week. It'll be our first time attending one. If you see me, say hi. Bring your popcorn. It's going to be a good one.
Paul's going by himself. I am staying home.
Amy's going to stay home.
I'll be at the one on Thursday, the big one.
She's going to unpack. Continue our.
I took that day off actually to unpack.
Yeah, so I get to go just spend time at the Contemporary all day. So you'll see me walking around with a notebook and taking notes and seeing if any juicy items come out of the meetings. So
we got 2 super chats, and the first one is funny. Or it made me laugh.
BC fan, thank you so much for the super chat. Paul, please go back on WW News Tonight soon. I don't know that
I was a long time ago.
I was never on News Tonight. Their evening show. I was on News Today, just doing like a special like random thing for rental store at one time, and I
Yeah.
think it
I felt like
was
that was a while.
oh geez, yeah, that was like over a year ago or something like that. But
At one time, Paul was kinda like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you were you're kinda, like, popping up everywhere. Like,
I was
he was, like, on
I was
Adam,
collecting I was collecting
um
vloggers.
right, I was like, he was kinda catch 'em all.
Yeah. Uh,
Adam
one
Hatton, he was on Adam Hatton's, he was on, All Zero News
yeah. So it
Today.
was I don't know, it all happened like in the
It
course
was
of like a
all yeah,
month.
it was all, like, right together,
But
so that
no,
was funny.
would love to be back on, anyone's show to talk DVC, to talk any of this kind of stuff. It's always fun to do. Again, Amy and I always say we would not be sitting here talking about this if we weren't passionate about it and passionate about educating you all about it. Because I think that it's really changed how many view Disney Vacation Club. It's provided an outlet of education for so many people. So would love to continue to do that.
Yeah,
Uh,
his comments below, he forgot to write it on the
oh,
first one.
okay. Icarus said, forgot to write the message. With your use being in the middle, you can technically buy extra points 2 times with only $99. I think they're going to cap you. I think it's per membership. So if that's kind of the question you're asking, can you buy,
So that
from
is
multiple?
interesting though, because it's when you buy one-time use points, it's based on your use year.
Correct.
So, like, how do they do that when your membership allows you this, and then that is confusing.
I would almost question whether or not you could still maybe buy an additional 24 and but you're only going to get 12 free.
Right.
So maybe it's buy 12, get 12.
Within the year of your Beyond.
Yes,
So, like, they're probably gonna keep that 12 free within your Beyond membership year,
could be.
but then you play by different rules depending on yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah. We're new to this.
Or
We don't
yeah,
know.
that was a good
That was a
question
very
though.
good
Yeah.
question. But I almost if I were designing it, I would say buy 12, get 12, and then with your other use year, you could then buy 24 if you did want to buy 24. But we're not. But I don't think they're going to give you more than 12 for free. And I think that was in the terms, in some way, shape, or form. So, we'll go. Um, We'll go into that. Christine said you did a dining review with Walt Disney World
Oh,
News
that's
today. It
right,
was
at,
fun. Yes.
Le
We did
Cellier.
Le Cellier and their new menu. That was fun. Yeah, that was for Unlocked Magic about a year ago. So that was fun. Yeah, we could do some more in the future. So let's see. Nathan asked if I have a stay already booked on points, could I buy one-time use points and use those instead?
Yes, if the stay was booked at the 7-month window, they will swap those out for you
Yep.
because one-time use points are only good to use at the 7-month window. So if you booked a home resort stay at the home resort window, you are locked into that stay using home resort points only, so they won't swap out one-time use points in that case.
Yeah. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below and we will answer them here in the next few minutes. But I want to take a moment with you and just kind of outline what the end of our year looks like here on DVC Fan.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned a couple times in this show, and I know some of you said that you might be there next week. I will be there on Wednesday of next week. I want to say that is Wednesday the 11th. Which will be the condo association meetings, which there are individual
It is the
meetings
11th, yeah.
for every single resort. Some of
They're
them,
all on Wednesday, all the
some of
individual
the resorts are actually on the 10th. I know
Oh,
Grand
okay.
Cal, I believe, is on the 10th, but I'm not going to head up.
Go up there 3
Yeah,
times, 3 days in a row.
3 days in a row would be a little bit much. But on Wednesday, I will be heading up there to catch some of the condo association meetings. The bulk of where we own points, so like Animal Kingdom, Polynesian. I think Jeff mentioned going to the old Key West one again.
Yeah, I think he's going to.
So yeah, we'll definitely be around catching those meetings. Keep in mind the condo association meetings. They're not all that exciting. They're basically a business meeting and you have no say on anything. The most exciting part is just maybe a little bit of a Q&A. From what I've heard, they've been a little bit more mindful about answering questions outside of just budgetary questions. So we'll see if that continues this year, or this round of meetings, because these will be a little bit more high profile since this is a bigger week for them. And then on Thursday, the 14th, no, the 12th, right? Yes.
Monday's the 9th, 10,
The
11,
12th.
12. Yes.
Thursday the 12th. That is the big DVC kind of, they're calling like a DVC member celebration this year, in which normally that is when the meeting used to be for everyone. This year it's just going to be a kind of celebration of DVC, highlighting some of the things that are coming in the future. My guess, if I were a betting guy, is that we're going to kind of just run down this press release that they recently came out with, which highlighted the grand opening of the Island Tower, which highlighted the cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness, which they did say is going to be completed by spring of 2025. So all the cabins will be converted by spring 2025. The Membership Magic Beyond, highlighting that for everyone. They'll probably have a card reader for people to pay just live on the spot. I would. New member lounge coming to Magic Kingdom, summer 2025. I bet you they highlight that. I'm hoping that they highlight some of the construction going on at Disney Lakeshore Lodge.
Oh, I almost thought Lakeside again.
And then also typically at these meetings, we receive kind of our refurbishment schedule so what can we look forward to in terms of refurbishments. So all of that,
and maybe cookies and punch.
Maybe cookies and punch, but we will be there. And I think Jeff's going to be there. Lauren, I think, was a maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of us there just covering that condo association meeting, and we will make sure to share all of that information with you on dvcfan.com and probably put up a little bit of a video that kind of talks about it. That rounds out next week. The following week is the big shebang. That is the opening of the Island Tower at Disney's Polynesian Resort. So we are on property starting on Monday. Monday evening, we are actually going to be at Epcot enjoying the Festival of Holidays and seeing the Candlelight Processional with some friends that are coming in town, some colleagues that are coming in town for the grand opening. Then on Tuesday, you can expect to see us at the Island Tower beginning at 8 a.m. and being there all day just to see what we can see if they do anything special for the event. We do not have like Disney media or press access or anything like that. So we normally are just the lurkers behind a bush.
We're not that special.
We're not that special. Yeah. A lot of people think we are, but we are not. So yeah, we'll be lurking behind a bush, just trying to see like what we can see. But we will have a bunch of videos coming up because we have 3 rooms over the course of next week. We've got technically 4, but we've got a duo studio, we've got a deluxe studio, we've got a 1 bedroom. So essentially we also have a lock off if you put 2 of those things together. And then we were graciously offered to film the 2 bedroom penthouse villa by one of you amazing DVC fan viewers out there. So we will have plenty of content coming up over the course of that week, just highlighting everything, checking out the new restaurant, just browsing the resort, all that kind of fun stuff. So
yeah,
it's going to be busy. And then on Friday, we drive north for the holidays. So it's a race to the finish of the year here, but we've got a lot going on. We love doing it and we love sharing it with you all. Kind of going back through just...
go back to the restaurant. There was a question about the restaurant. I don't know where it went. Well, anyway, it was a while back, but they asked if we knew anything about reservations opening for the new Poly restaurant or anything like that. There's been nothing. The page is there on My Disney Experience now, but there's nothing about reservations or anything like that.
Nothing announced at this point. I think they might just open without reservations. I think it might just be first come, first serve for the first
period. It'll be a free for all.
It will be,
and we will be there.
Free for all. Just people diving into the seats. Heather said, what are you guys thinking about Muppets 3D being replaced with Monsters, Inc.? I'm excited about Monsters. We just went to Muppets 3D. It will be sad to say goodbye. Amy's creeped out by Muppets.
I wasn't going to tell people that.
That's an easy one.
Okay, the big tall guy. He's scary. Sweetums?
Sweetum.
Yeah. Terrifying.
it
I
it
always sit in the back row so he can't walk near me.
I'm not it was funny. My mom was here this past week. Hi mom, if you're watching, because I know you're gonna tune in. We had an amazing week with her. She just flew back this morning. But we were packing and we were throwing stuff away as we were packing. And she commented on the fact that I don't get like emotionally attached to things. So like I'm one that can easily like if I've not used it,
Purge.
I'm getting rid of it, like, or donating it or something of that nature. And I think in terms of Muppets 3D, um, it was great while it lasted. I think the Muppets are getting an upgrade, to be honest, by going over to Rock and Roller Coaster. I know that limits the access to some people that can't handle that ride. But walk through the queue and then go out the exit or something just to experience a portion of it. I think that'll allow you to do that. But as Walt always said, we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving, and Disney needs to do that. They need to desperately compete with Universal at this point in time to capture more of that middle school, high school audience, which wants maybe a little bit more of a thrilling attraction. I think they're hitting the other demographics pretty well.
Mhm.
But
And Monsters Inc. is so exciting. I'm so excited for the door coaster, and hopefully, I think that restaurant,
yes.
Harryhausen's, yeah.
Mhm.
So excited about that. I love the Monsters Inc. ride at Disneyland. So yeah, they don't
Yeah.
creep me out. They're cute and fuzzy. They're not
Ni-
scary looking
Nina
like
said,
Sweet.
"What are your predictions? Price per point for Lakeshore Lodge?"
Oh gosh, we're talking
Um,
what, 3 years from now?
yeah. Wow. We'll be over 250 by then, I think. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's where we're
like
headed.
260.
That's where that number, that's that magic number. I think a lot just depends on how the current properties sell as to how aggressive they get in pricing. I think they've slowed down a little bit. I think they could have been more aggressive with Polynesian. We
Mm.
expected them to be, and they weren't. So, do they continue with that conservative approach, or do they try to bump that number up a little bit higher? But they are building a property from the ground up. Normally, that means higher prices. So, yeah. Cameron mentioned Copper Creek refurbishment dates were announced March through September 2025. That is correct. This is a soft
Yeah, I was gonna
goods
say,
refurbishment
yeah.
for Copper
It's
Creek.
not that
Um,
old.
no, it is not, but it's older than you think.
I
Since it's already
know.
getting a soft good.
It's because 'cause
That just
I'm
means
older than
that
I
means
think.
we're older than we think. Mr. Pro said, were you guys able to
Mm.
book the new tower? We did not do any points bookings for the new tower. We did cash reservations when it originally went
To
up,
make sure we could get
just to make
opening
sure that we
night.
could get the opening night.
Mhm.
But we did kind of monitor availability when it did first open up a couple weeks ago. And I thought that it stayed relatively available for a good
Mhm.
period of time.
Yeah,
It
especially
has
for owners.
it has slowly filled up since then, especially into the 7-month window. And it's what you would expect people are taking. The standard views, the cheaper rooms, a lot of the preferred or the theme park views, those are staying open longer than some of the things that don't cost as many points. So it kind of replicates what we've seen with Grand Floridian and those theme park resort studios. Those just don't fly off the shelves. And the same thing for Riviera and the preferred rooms over there. The standard rooms just fill up a lot faster than those rooms do. But I'm very excited to see this new property. I think it'll be great. Let's see. A lot of you said if we have multiple memberships, we'll be okay getting it under any of them, or will only apply if you're using those points during your trip. I think Disney got away from kind of using those points, that whole
Mhm.
mindset. They dabbled with it and
It
it
was
just
a
got
hot
messy.
mess.
And so I think they kind of got rid of that. So it used to be
Yeah, as
something
long as
for
you
as
qualify
long as you qualify,
and
end of
use whatever
story.
points you got.
Yeah. So um Laura, thank you so much, Laura. I wanted to say thank you for all the helpful information. I purchased direct at first without doing extensive research, came across DVC fan, learned so much, and opted for a resale for my second. Laura, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for.
Thank you guys for watching too, because if you weren't here, we wouldn't be here,
No.
you know?
Let's see. Any other questions that I might have missed? Chaotic, I may have missed this. Any feelings on the new Lakefront Lodge versus buying the campground? Um, That's a good question. Would you buy the Fort Wilderness cabins now, or would you wait?
If I would only buy Fort Wilderness Cabins now if I want to be at Fort Wilderness Cabins. I would if your goal is to be at Lakeshore Lodge. I said that right that time, right? Then I would wait and see what happens, because we just don't know. I just think it's so up in the air right now.
Yeah. I it is one of those things where it falls in line with buy where you want to stay. So if you love the cabins, buy the cabins. We don't know. We did talk about this earlier in the show, so you can rewind and kind of catch that. There is a possibility that these both get rolled into the trust and they both can be used together for owners at either the cabins or at Lakeshore Lodge. But that is all just assumption at this point, and so you should not make any purchasing decisions based off of that information. So you should basically make those decisions on the fact that we know that there are the cabins at Fort Wilderness that you can purchase today, and you can enjoy the cabins at Fort Wilderness, or that there's a new property coming in 2027, which is Lakeshore Lodge. And until we get more information, we have to view those, I think, as two separate entities. So there you have it, folks. That kind of, I think, covers most of the news that's kind of come out in the Disney Vacation Club world over the past few weeks. Again, a quick reminder, next week we will not have a live show or have any show on Monday because Amy and I will be in the fun of the moving. We will have moved and we will be getting settled into our new house. But we're really excited once we actually do get everything set up there. We have a room that we've kind of dedicated to us filming shows. You may notice the backdrop evolve over the next couple weeks and everything, but weeks, I meant months. But it will gradually evolve and get into what we want it to be for that space. And we're excited to kind of convert that into what we want in our new home.
This is our last move forever. That's what I told.
Says Amy, yes.
We're gonna stay at least 20 years.
Yeah. What was the date? We signed
55?
Yeah, 2055.
Yes. It's January 1st, 2055 is
we got
it's when we pay it off.
Yeah, we got the payoff schedule because we were signing documents for the mortgage today and everything.
That was when I was retiring.
I set a calendar reminder on January 1st, 2055 to celebrate because that's when we would actually have paid off the new house. So we're excited about that. But yeah, no show next Monday. We are filming shows on Tuesday with the entire crew. Those will be some shows that go up. We got a special guest that's going to be on one of those shows as well. We will be doing a live show for the opening of the Island Tower. And I think between all of that, we may do another small live show just recapping the Condo Association meeting. But that should round out our 2024, which I will sit here now. I won't spoil kind of our year in review show that we will do, but I will say I don't know that we're going to have a year in which we had so much Disney Vacation Club news to talk about for a long, long time. So it's been fun covering all of this with all of you. Please, if you didn't do it at the beginning of the show, hit the thumbs up button, like and subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel, patreon.com/DVC Fan if you want to see me in a tight shirt, because that's apparently the content that Amy decides to put up over there. But we love you all. We love the support, and we won't see you next Monday, but we'll see you sometime really soon. So thank you all for everything, and hope you all are having a wonderful and happy holiday season.